ready to roll. Extraordinary moments. We welcome you back to the NBA on NBC. Come on! A lot of stars for you on Sunday Night Football.
Want to be the best? It all starts with belief. Believe in one another.
I'm just really proud of how they bought into everything that coached to them all year long.
Show me what you got.
Super Bowl 60.
Both sides dominate.
Come like that.
The Steelers' hopes of winning the AFC North title today evaporated.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers will drop another game to a team with a losing record.
Well, the Panthers' pathway to a division title will come down to beating Tampa next week.
Maria, you have to be focused. Let's go get this thing.
Show me what you got.
I'm focused, Coach Singletary, and I pray I don't let you down. Listen, we got Sunday Night Football coming from Santa Clara, home of Super Bowl 60. And we got Brock Purdy. You see that? He's warming up. He's getting ready, but he will be out without one of his favorite targets in George Kittle tonight. He's out with an ankle injury. San Francisco needs a win to keep their division hopes alive. They got to do it against that guy, Caleb Williams, the newly crowned kings of the NFC North. And both teams, how about this, are still in the mix for the #1 seed in the NFC. And oh, by the way, Fred Warner, 49ers star and legend, the linebacker, he is joining us from Levi Stadium with Jack, Tony, and Rodney, taking some selfies. We'll see if he can do a little live TV in a moment. But first, we want to get you caught up on what's happening in Orchard Park. And Chris, so far, the defense of the Eagles standing up.
Yeah, the Eagles defense has been awesome. Josh Allen's never gotten rhythm. James Cook hasn't done anything. They threw a jump ball to get down here close to the goal line. 4th down, Josh Allen doesn't get in. You see here on the replay, about a foot short. Looks like his butt touches down just before the ball crosses the line. Eagles still up 13-0.
All right, still have a shutout as we speak. Meanwhile, the Giants, with a loss, they would clinch the #1 overall pick, but Jackson Dart said, not so fast, my friend.
Giants don't got time for that. Playing their best football today. The Giants have dominated this game. Fan base probably not too happy about that, though.
Yeah, so the Giants get the win 34-10 against the Raiders. Welcome back inside the studio. Devin McCourty and Jason Garrett joining me now. And today, guys, we were all sitting back in the screening room. We watched the Browns take on the Steelers, and the Browns kept the Ravens' hopes alive by getting a victory. I mean, why couldn't the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers get it done on the road in Cleveland?
You know, Maria, it was not a complete surprise to me. You know, Pittsburgh's been playing small ball on offense all year long, and the only guy who's made plays for them down the field is DK Metcalf, and he was out of this game today against a really good Cleveland defense. And on the other side, Pittsburgh defense, they played really well, but they needed to dominate, make some game-changing plays against Shedeur Sanders. They did not do that. Cleveland hung on, and we're playing for this division next week against Baltimore.
Yeah, Shedeur made a few plays, but I thought for Pittsburgh, I thought the running backs had to be the difference. Yeah. They went out there, we knew it was going to be extra tight ends and all those different things. I thought the Gainwell matchup or Warren running the ball would be what helped them if they got the win today. They didn't get that, and that Browns defense was all over them.
Jason, you said it. The AFC North title on the line when Pittsburgh takes on the Ravens at home. All right, does anyone want to win the NFC South? Because we saw the Panthers fall to the Seahawks, the Buccaneers fall to the Dolphins, and that means we got to wait till at least week 18 to crown a winner.
Yeah. I look at Tampa Bay, and that was disappointing. The Panthers losing to the Seahawks, not a big deal. Seahawks are a really good team. But Tampa, you go down to Miami, you turn the ball over, you can't run the ball, you can't stop Achane. That was just like, how does this team possibly get into the playoffs? And we shouldn't be forced to watch that in the playoffs. Like, I don't want to see that.
You know, they've lost 6 or 7 coming into this game, so the expectations shouldn't have been that high, but they could go really put themselves in great position, go down to Miami against a backup quarterback. It was not only losing the game, but how they lost it. Miami ran the ball on them. They couldn't run the ball an inch, and Baker turns it over 3 times. And incredibly, they still have a chance next week going to Carolina.
Incredibly, the Panthers still have a chance, and right now they control their path to the NFC South. But Bryce Young is coming off of a tough day. He was allowed just 54 yards passing, but it was a very dominant Seattle Seahawks defense, Chris, that held him down.
It was a tough day for the whole Carolina Panthers offense. The Seattle Storm was ready. DeMarcus Lawrence, right? The whole crew. Julian Love getting the interception. The running game never got going for the Carolina Panthers. That put the onus on the passing game, and Bryce Young and company couldn't get it going there. Pressured 1 for 11 on 3rd downs. never ran the ball. They had two turnovers on offense, and Seattle wins on the road. This guy right here, yeah, he may be reigning king of the AFC East or the Patriots kingdom for a long time. I know it's the Jets defense, and oh my gosh, they're not good. But every ball he throws is on the money. Every ball he threw today was down the field. It wasn't like it was a dink and dunk fest. 250 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 5 different receivers, 19 for 21. I mean, man, it was the Jets, but still, that was awesome.
Looking like a young Chris Sims.
Yeah, some might say. Couldn't have completed one pass if he wanted to. All right, let's get out to Santa Clara. Jack, Tony, Rodney, that special guest I told you earlier, Fred Warner, joining them in Santa Clara. Good evening, guys.
Maria, we are joined by one of the greatest linebackers of the last decade in the NFL. They love you out here first and foremost.
And I love them.
They really do.
Yeah, this is the faithful for a reason.
People feared that after that ankle injury, your season might be done. I'm hearing now there's hope. What's the latest on your rehab?
Yeah, man, let me just say first, best fan base in the country right here, the faithful, right? I'm so grateful, sincerely, to just be back on my own 2 feet. I'd be lying if I said when I was on that training table back in Tampa Bay thinking about how fast can I get back for the playoffs, right? I was just thinking about, can I play football again? Truly, it was one of those type of injuries. And so, you know, as I progressed and just gotten better and better, they're starting to see me. They're like, oh, Freddie might have a chance, right? And so
do you have a chance?
I got a chance, man. That's the plan. So we're going to take this thing one day at a time. There's a whole lot of different steps, and you know, T's got to be crossed, I's got to be dotted in order to get there. But we're on the right track.
Yeah. And Fred, last year, both these teams at the bottom of their division. Now they're in play for the NFC's #1 seed.
Oh, my goodness.
San Francisco's perspective, how are they in this position?
Yeah, I got to show love to my guy, Robert Saleh. You know, him coming back after being the head coach with the New York Jets, he's only gotten better since he got back here. Obviously had tons of success when he was here when I came in as a rookie. Stood on the table for me, man, drafted me in 2018 and gave a young rookie the green dot. And I'm like, man, what the heck are you doing, man? Looking back at that decision, right? But just to, you know, battle through all the adversities that we've had this season and have him as to just steady the ship, right? And keep our guys playing relentless, playing ferocious out there on defense, man. He's the reason why I feel like he's giving our team a chance to keep competing.
And I'd say the same thing for Chicago. I know a lot of talk about Ben Johnson, but that defense is taking the ball away, and they're leading the pack on defense with a chance to be the #1 seed.
Speaking about Ben Johnson, I thought he did an excellent job coming in, fixing the offensive line, instilling confidence in Caleb Williams, and bringing pride back to Chicago.
Your home
good job,
base,
Ben
right?
Johnson.
And it's worth noting this Bears team's been hit hard by injuries as well. Good news, DJ Moore is active.
That's huge.
But wide receiver Olamide Zaccheaus will be inactive, and it's that receiver room that's been hard in particular. Maria Taylor.
Favorite thing is Fred doing boo while they're talking about the Bears. Meanwhile, the Bills finally on the board.
The Bills trying to show the Eagles how the tush push is done right there. I mean, pretty incredible. But got the ball around midfield, few high percentage passes, some runs, the touchdown, and then, this extra point blocked by the Eagles. Down by 7.
All right, we're keeping an eye on that one and everything that's happened in Week 17 coming up next. All right, Jace, I got a flashback for you. Bears 49ers, 1984 NFC Championship. Do you remember this? 49ers using offensive lineman Guy McIntyre for blocking.
Remember it well. Bill Walsh, 1984. What a team they had. Put him in at fullback and let Wendell Tyler run behind him. Awfully good.
Okay, so that was innovative. So then Chicago's like, we could do it too, though. And that's exactly what Mike Ditka does. He uses William the Refrigerator Perry in a very similar role.
He sure does. They put him at fullback, and not only does he block, they hand him the ball in the Super Bowl, the drubbing of the Patriots. Give it to the fridge. He weighed 335, and he knows how to spike it.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns in that bad boy. Meanwhile, we've got an update in Orchard Park. What do we have, Chris?
Yeah, we're late in the fourth quarter here, a little over 2 minutes, a little out route to Khalil Shakir right here, gets the first down, but it's a 2-minute warning, and the Buffalo Bills need a touchdown to tie it.
Okay, we're going to get back to the highlights. Giants taking on the Raiders. The Giants would clinch the #1 overall pick if they lose this one. Early on, no score. Geno Smith intercepted and actually goes down in this one. hurts his ankle, does not return.
Yeah, early in the game, that interception was huge, really changed the tide. Giants took off from there.
And then here comes Jackson Dart, Devin.
Jackson Dart said, hey, Vegas, you can control that driver's seat to the #1 pick because we're all about winning games in New York.
Yeah, so Giants snapping their 9-game losing streak, but they lose control of the #1 overall pick. You're taking a look right now at the draft order. The Raiders right now controlling their path, and a couple of teams on that list that will be in search of a new head coach, which is why we were in search of talking to Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk. And what are you hearing? What is the latest?
Well, the Jets had another disaster today. They were 3-2 in November. They've been blown out each of the 4 December games they played. And there's going to be obviously external questions about the future of first-year coach Aaron Glenn. I'm told there are some internal questions among folks with influence about whether or not a change should be made. After the game today, Aaron Glenn told reporters, I believe in owner Woody Johnson, and Woody Johnson believes in me. As it is in every situation like this, it's the owner's call at the end of the day. And one thing to keep in mind, Glenn has 4 years left on his contract. It would be a big buyout if the change would be made after 1 year.
Okay, so we don't know if that will be a vacancy, but with the ones that are already in existence, the name Brian Flores, is it starting to pop up? 3rd season as the defensive coordinator with the Vikings. We saw the 6 takeaways they had on Christmas Day against the Lions. Where does he stand with the opportunities?
I spoke to a wide variety of high-level sources yesterday just to get a feel for what his candidacy will be this time around. The sense is the defensive scheme is good enough to get him interviews. The question is, when you consider his 3 years with the Miami Dolphins, didn't go well, didn't end well. There's still a lawsuit pending 4 years later against the league, the Dolphins, and 3 other teams. So a lot of factors to sift through in determining whether or not he's ready to be a head coach again. Meanwhile, his contract in Minnesota is about to expire. The Vikings are trying to get it extended. If he would essentially become a free agent, keep an eye on a team like the Dallas Cowboys to maybe try to lure him down to Texas to fix their defense.
Yeah, right now leading his defense top 5 in total and scoring D. So we'll see where he ends up next season. Meanwhile, Jack, Tony, and Rodney are back on Santa Clara, and we see Brock Purdy had a career-high 5 touchdown passes in last week's win against Indiana. We'll see if he hits a little bit of a Dougie this week. Under 2 minutes to play, and the Buffalo Bills getting in their trick bag here, Chris.
Hey, do you like some razzle-dazzle? Tyrell Shavers, little hook and ladder to Ty Johnson up the sideline. The Bills are still alive.
The Laundry Boys.
Oh, don't worry. There we go.
This is Football Night in America.
The whole world watching.
Earn your Sunday with Lowe's.
I earned my Sunday. Did you?
Yes, flow, you blow, you know you go. I flow, I go.
If you want to be on TV, just hang with me. Hello? Hey, I'm feeling silly today. Okay, that sounds good. Thank you. Camera on me. Camera on me. Y'all want to be on TV? Yeah, baby! Ooh, they showed up. Laser focus. Let's go. We the big dog in this fight. I'm coming. Oh, that was nasty.
Who's the cat that won't cop out when there's things you're all about?
You're really a heat-seeking missile.
Right on.
I'm back.
You see, this cat chef is a bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
Hey, Kyle, do you know who John Shaft is?
I don't think so.
Tell him,
Coach. That's bad by me, isn't it?
When I was a sophomore in high school, he's a policeman, private detective. He's the baddest man on the planet. We all want to be Shaft, and that's you.
Okay,
we all want to be you.
That's what's up, man. That's much love right there. That's much love. So,
I just heard baddest man on the planet. That's a good comparison, Ron. Outside of John Shaft, when you watch this guy play, who does he remind you of?
Well, we've been fortunate to cover you your entire career. Right. But to one of my old teammates, Hall of Fame linebacker Junior Seau.
Oh, man, don't
and you
say
start
that.
talking about the instincts, the tremendous instincts that you guys play with, the speed, getting to the football, coach, the open field tackling. And what I love is the leadership, coach.
And all over the field, line of scrimmage, passing game, 3rd and 1, doesn't matter. They're going to show up wherever the ball is.
Man, and watch the celebration. It's the same thing, Fred, I told you. Do you know who Junior Seau is?
Of course I do, man. I grew up in San Diego, man. That's a legend right there. That's my idol, Junior Seau. God rest his soul, man. That is amazing. That video right there. I need a copy of that. I need a copy so I can play that before every game.
Well, we got you. The one thing I wanted to tell you, too, I had a chance to talk to one of your teammates, and he said, I know, Kurt, I know you're not you're not playing right now.
Sure.
But they still feel like you're an inspiration, the way you prepare yourself every single day, come in, attack rehab. They say you might not be making an impact on the field, but you're still making an impact in that locker room. So keep it up, big guy.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
In this defense, they've had to do it without Nick Bosa, without Yusa, without some of their leaders. Give me a few guys that you feel like have stepped up in a big way watching them play.
Yeah, I mean, of course, at the second level, my young bucks and Tatum Bethune, D Winters, guys that have popped off the tape right last week in a huge Monday night win against the Colts. D Winters seals it with a pick six, 75-yard pick six for his first interception in his career. Tatum Bethune came back off his high ankle and is going to feel a lot better tonight. So I'm looking for them to be huge factors in this game tonight.
What have you told those guys about playing against this Bear offense tonight in their run game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's all going to start up front. You know, they love to run the football over there in Chicago, right? Ben Johnson, we've seen him a couple of times being here in the NFC Championship game last year and Monday night. And his offense has had success, unfortunately, but not tonight, baby. Not tonight. Sunday night, we got to make sure we take care of that run game because obviously that opens up everything else in their pass game, wanting to play action, boots, all those other sort of things.
Yep, we got a tight one right now in Buffalo. I'm hearing, Maria, what's the latest?
Yeah, you're right, Jack. And right now, Buffalo is knocking on the doorstep.
Yep, and you're going to see Josh Allen here after that hook and ladder play that we alerted before. Now it's a post down the middle. Brandon Cooks, who's only like 5'9", goes up, gets the big catch, contested, bobbling around, and then we have this, 3rd and goal. Allen drops back. Dawson Knox in the flat. You think he scores a touchdown. It looks like he might be a little short, but they're reviewing it right now.
Yeah, right in the middle of a scoring review. We'll see what the Bills do. Remember, they already missed a PAT today. Will they decide to go for 2 if it is a touchdown? We'll find out soon. All right, Christian McCaffrey, you saw him walking in. He's ready for business, taking some deep breaths, trying to stay calm so he can unleash the madness on the Bears. That's coming up Week 17 of Sunday Night Football from Santa Clara.
Football Night in America is brought to you by Lowe's. Tackle your to-do list early to earn your Sunday.
60 years ago, Jason, relying on you again for this. One of the greatest individual performances we've ever seen. Gale Sayers.
All he needs is 18 inches of daylight. That's all this guy needs, and he goes, baby. The Kansas Comet.
Yeah, there you go. Those are 6 touchdowns. There you go for the Bears against the 49ers. They're tied the most in NFL history. Look at that mud everywhere. That's the kind of football game you want to see.
Hall of Famer, 6-year career Hall of Famer.
That's how good he was. He only needed 6 years.
Sheesh. Woo, 4 runs, 1 catch. Look at that. 1 punt return for a touchdown, literally doing it on every single level.
It's like my Pop Warner tape.
Exactly right. I was going to say that.
I don't think it looks anything like that. Guys, we got an alert in Orchard Park. The Bills score.
The Bills score. It was short on the play before that we showed. Now it's back to the tush-push. Second tush-push touchdown to the quarter. They've called timeout. They are going for 2 points and the win here.
All right, we're keeping our eye on it, and we'll keep you updated. Right now, we're going to get you over to Matthew Berry. Time for tonight's DraftKings Sportsbook 3-play. Matthew, who you got?
Yeah, Maria, no George Kittle. That's who the 49ers don't have. Also, Ricky Pearsall banged up. So I expect the Niners passing game to feature a lot of Juwan Jennings tonight. Give me Jennings to catch at least 4 passes. That's a number, by the way, that he's hit in 4 of the last 5 games. Speaking of Jennings, I also think he scores a touchdown tonight. You know what? Since Brock Purdy returned, no 49er, literally no 49er has more red zone targets than Juwan Jennings. He's actually scored in 4 straight games. I say he makes it 5 straight tonight. Finally, on the Bears side, give me Luther Burden to have at least 40 yards receiving. Niners have struggled against wide receivers this season. Burden actually led the Bears in targets and yards in each of the last 2 games he played. Look for him to make a big impact in his return to the lineup tonight, especially with the Bears missing a couple of guys at wide receiver. And Maria, that is my DraftKings 3-play.
All right, appreciate it, Matthew. And as you were talking, we just saw the 2-point conversion attempt fail.
Play action pass. He's got what he wants here. Shakir in the back of the end zone. He's open. Josh Allen, he'll stay up all night. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
He usually would hit this throw in his sleep. Misses it. Game over.
Do you guys like the play call?
Yeah, I like the play call right there. I think you get going. You finally have some plays you put together. You go. You put the ball in your best player's hands.
Right.
Like you just said, Sims, you expect him to make that throw.
It's not just tonight, Sims. It's for the rest of his life. He'll remember that throw. This is the best, arguably the best player in the league. You get a guy open for him and he misses the throw. Hey, you just got to kind of move on and you really deal with the hand you're dealt from this point on. But they had a great chance to win this division.
Great chance to win. Battled back in the second half. I mean, Josh Allen, the offense defense struggled, but yes, we saw the Eagles' offense disappear in the second half. So those are encouraging things by the Buffalo Bills, but this one's going to stink a little bit.
Pats, AFC East champions.
Way to go, man. Congrats.
We knew he was going to get that in there. Yeah, with that loss by the Bills, Pats clinched the AFC East for the first time since 2019. We got plenty more coming on this game. We'll get you a full set of highlights, but we want to get you back to the games we've already watched today. The Jaguars taking on the Colts. Trevor Lawrence, he has certainly been on a tear. They've won 6 straight games, but some early mistakes by the Jags.
Hey, we just saw this play in the Buffalo game. At crunch time, it's the under with the lateral. Jacksonville can't execute it.
Yeah, ultimately, the Colts are going to find a way now, an opportunity to capitalize on that mistake.
Yeah, the Colts drive down the field, balance. Phillip Rivers, high percentage passes. Jonathan Taylor smashes it up the middle. They're up 10-0 early.
6th player in NFL history with 20 or more touchdowns in multiple seasons. And you look at Phillip Rivers' family. They're hype, and so is the high school that he was coaching at. Shout out to St. Michael Catholic.
For free.
Yeah. Fairhope, Alabama is standing up right now. Okay, the second half, and this is where Lawrence is going to get going.
It's one of the best things he's doing right now. He's running his quarterback draw. He scored 2 touchdowns with his feet today. Awfully good.
Yeah, 9th rushing touchdown of the season, and then the game's all tied up here.
Yeah, and we get an interception, and we got to remember, this Jacksonville defense, they cause turnovers, they stop the run, and they can pressure the quarterback.
This is the last chance. They bring in Riley Leonard for the strong arm.
Yeah, he does a good job avoiding the pressure there. Throws the ball up there, gives him a chance in the Big Ben. Not today. Jacksonville wins it.
Yes, and Jacksonville can clinch the AFC South with a win, or if the Texans lose next week against who else? The Colts. All right, DJ Moore, 5 touchdown catches in the last 5 games. He's ready to get the offense going for the Bears in Santa Clara. Another opportunity there. But coming up next, guess what? We're going to hear from the Bears head coach, Ben Johnson. We're also going to see what happened to Aaron Rodgers against the Browns and set up that Week 18 matchup for the AFC North.
Keep that camera rolling. Let's go. Let's go. And I'm floating and exploding on the scene. I got potential. The scoring machine. I'm gonna hit the top just when I want it. And it's a matter of time, and I'm gonna touchdown. Look at your man and give him a high five, cause I'm live, run around with him.
That is so good.
First down.
We're having some fun right now.
This is Football Night in America.
You earned your Sunday. Let's go.
There he goes all the way home.
You've earned your Sunday with Lowe's.
Taking a look at the final scene in Buffalo. It was a 1-point victory for the Eagles. A little bit of the emotion still high. You see Jalen Carter in there. He did block a PAT that was the difference in this ball game. We'll get you the full highlights and the breakdown coming up next. But since all of the games are final, here's what you need to know now from our Week 17 games. Now, the Browns beat the Steelers to set up a winner-take-all meeting between the Steelers and Ravens in Week 18. That battle will go down in Pittsburgh, and the winner will clinch the AFC North. Now, the loser season will be over. We're going to break down the final sequence from today's game from Cleveland coming up. Now, the NFC South, it will also come down to the final weekend after both the Panthers and the Bucks lost today. Carolina is at Tampa next weekend, and what could be a winner-take-all game will break down like the unless coming up. We're going to need like a graphic to do that. And in the race for the NFC 1 seed, the Seahawks beat the Panthers, and that means the loser of tonight's Bears-49ers game can no longer earn the top seed in the NFC. So much on the line here tonight. Let's get back to our game. Caleb Williams and the Bears, newly crowned NFC North champions, are riding high. And earlier this week, Tony Dungy with Chicago to sit down with their first-year head coach, Ben Johnson.
Coming to Chicago, one of the big tasks was Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, end zone, touchdown! Don't make a play!
I've just been blown away with his competitive drive. This guy loves football. He wants to be great. He's going to stop at nothing but to be great. And I think that's a great starting point for any competitor in this league. We meet on a daily basis, to go over practice tape, game tape, and he's being very critical of himself. He knows that he's only scratching the surface of what he's capable of right now.
Let's go!
You've been known as a great play caller.
Caleb, steady Eddie in the huddle here. Make sure they know what they're doing.
Have you tailored stuff to Caleb?
Well, yeah, early on it was let's throw a lot out there and see what, not just Caleb, but what we're all really good at. We settled into a pretty good routine of what we feel comfortable with. Because we've become such a good running team, that's been able to open up the movement game and the play actions for us. Caleb, you know, he joked about it a couple weeks ago. For a guy that was told couldn't turn his back to the defense and be able to see and process, he's doing a pretty good job this late in the season.
And I know he feels this and he believes this, that he can make any throw. Do you have to tell him sometimes, you don't need to make that throw?
Yeah, well, I think what he's doing a great job of is understanding the situation. That's probably a big reason why when we're in the second half of the fourth quarter and the game's on the line, he opens it up.
He does it.
We have an immense trust level, and it allows me to be pretty aggressive with the play calling, knowing that he's going to do a good job taking care of that football.
Ben's bag of tricks.
You're known as a guy who comes up with, let's call them creative plays.
You accumulate those over the years, and good to have one or two of them in each week to keep the guys engaged. And at the same time, it makes it pretty difficult on the defense. It makes you a more dangerous offense and more difficult to defend.
Talking Ball, presented by the Farmer's Dog.
Well, Coach, I've been seeing that conversation being clipped all over the place. What was running through your mind leaving his office?
Well, he talked about Caleb Williams wanting to be good and wanting to be great. And when I came out of the interview, Caleb Williams was sitting right by Ben Johnson's office on a Monday. Nobody else is in the building, and they're going to meet for an hour to look at tape of you guys and put it together. Caleb said he wants to do what I like, and I want to tell him what I like, and it was really impressive to see.
It's good stuff. Fred, take me to the scouting report. Caleb Williams, the biggest difference year one to year two is what?
Yeah, I think Caleb's been a tremendous job this year, and I think it's a credit to Ben Johnson and those coaches and being able to challenge him and allowing him to be the best version of himself. And, of course, what's the quarterback's best friend? An effective run game, right? The fact that they've been able to run the ball as effectively as they've been able to, I think has helped him a ton. And watching the tape this week of him, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that over the last 8 years, Lamar Jackson has been the toughest guy to get down on the ground, right?
Fair,
but
yep.
I'm watching clips of this guy, and I'm like, I think Caleb Williams might have took the cake this year, right? And obviously Lamar, he banged up a little bit, you know what I mean? So but listen, I played against this guy last year. I thought I had him lined up in the open field, and he put me in the spin cycle, right? But so I had this game marked on my calendar. Nah, I'm just kidding. But, hey, it's a lot of respect for Caleb and what they've been able to do this year. We got to make sure we take care of him.
But talking about that, did you guys go over different ways to rush him to keep him in the pocket?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Coach Saleh, and, you know, it's funny to say this, but with Caleb, it looks like as he escapes the pocket, it's almost like his accuracy increases. He just has this unbelievable ability with that ball in his hand. It's almost like he got this different little grip to that football because he just flicks that thing when he gets outside the pocket. But I think it's going to be important to keep him inside the pocket and see if he can beat us inside there.
Yeah, you mentioned Ben Johnson, and he did a great job of coming in, fixing that offensive line, but also providing him with weapons. Like you talked about, the 1-2 punch at running, being able to run the football, take pressure off of the quarterback. They've done a good job with that, Jack.
And I tell you what, I think that's going to be the key to the game tonight. Which defense can stop the other team from running the ball? I know they'd feel a lot better if you were out there trying to stop him.
Hey, we strapped ready to go, baby.
All right.
We're going to hand it to him.
What's rule number one going up against a Ben Johnson offense in your mind's eye?
Well, I think his scheme is really similar to ours in terms of the pre-snap movement, right? I think you see a lot of things happening with your eyes, and I say that would be the key, right? You got to have clean eyes when you're going against Ben Johnson and his scheme because they're trying to run simple concepts, inside zone, outside zone, different gap scheme runs where you're pulling guys, but they're dressing it up a whole bunch of different ways, right?
Forget about all the eye candy.
Forget about all the eye candy. Stay on your keys. Everything that we practiced all week, just rely on your keys, and that'll take care of everything.
Stop the run. You got to stop the run.
You got to stop the run.
You got to expect some trick plays.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to test your safeties deep.
Absolutely.
I know this. You learn a lot about football talking it and watching it with Fred Warner. We appreciate you so much as we go back into Maria Taylor.
Incredible breakdown from Fred there for sure. Let's get back to our highlights. Patriots taking on the Jets. The Patriots only undefeated team on the road this season, and we have to double time their touchdowns because they scored on their first 6 drives.
Yeah, to go score on your first 6 drives are ridiculous, and it wasn't just throwing to one guy. Ramondre Stevenson, a rushing touchdown, caught a touchdown. But other than that, Drake May found different guys on all of these touchdowns. Looks so calm, so cool. He's like, we're going to go down to New Jersey. We're going to stomp the Jets and make sure everybody knows we're the top team in the AFC East.
Hey, that's exactly what he did. Caught another touchdown there. And Drake May, completely unstoppable. First player with 90% completion percentage, 5 touchdown passes, and over 250 passing yards. More than impressive. The Patriots, because the Bills just lost to the Eagles, are now the AFC East champs for the first time since 2019. All right, let's get to the Steelers taking on the Browns. And remember, the Ravens are rooting for the Browns right now. They need it. And all Mike Tomlin needs is a win.
They need it. And Shedeur Sanders made some big throws early on in the game. None bigger than this right here to Harold Fannin. Scores the touchdown. Also got hurt on that play, and we didn't see him return.
Yeah, aggravated a groin injury. And then we got our eyes on Myles Garrett. 1 sack away from setting the single-season record.
Well, I can tell you Aaron Rodgers had 2 eyes on him all day long. He was going to get that ball out and not let him have the record against Aaron Rodgers for sure. They had some moments. They had a little wink and giggle here, as you see. But Rodgers was very aware of him all day long.
And Myles Garrett has still never sacked Rodgers in his career. He's played 3 games against him. To the fourth quarter we go. On 4th and 10, Rodgers looking.
Yeah, 4th and 10. And this was really the story of the second half. I mean, just inconsistent offensive play by the Steelers. Couldn't get the pass game going. Never got the run game going today.
Browns kicked a field goal on the next possession. They extended their lead. And then the last chance here for the Steelers.
That was vintage Rodgers right there. That was like back in the old days with the Packers. A missile down the middle to Freiermuth, and you're going, uh-oh, the Steelers are in business. 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line, and then this is when trouble starts. Denzel Ward gets the PBU. Now we go to 3rd and goal. Okay, we're going back to my buddy Marquez Valdez-Scantling. It's in no man's land. He's not open. Now it's 4th and goal. Come on, Aaron Rodgers, make a play. Do something here. He's in the shotgun and decides, again, to test Denzel Ward on the outside. That is not where I would want to make my money. They lose the game 13-6.
Yeah, and that means now that Pittsburgh will play Baltimore in Week 18 for the AFC North title, the number 4 seed in the AFC. Look at the Ravens. We're talking about perfect timing. Shout out to the Browns. The Browns said, don't think we did this for you, okay? It's not about you, but we did get the win. Let's hear Mike Tomlin and what he had to say after this loss.
Like, how much did not having DK affect the passing game?
It was an impact, but we certainly got capable men, and we expect those guys to make necessary plays, and we certainly didn't make enough today.
I'm always just prepared and ready for moments like that. But, yeah, I just try to make it hard on teams every time they decide to look at the scouting report and see who they're going to attack and make it hard on them when they come my way. And like I said, I don't know whose bright idea it was to try me for the game for 3 plays in a row, but we was able to come through and get the win.
We don't know whose bright idea it was, but we want you to break down the sequence for us, Devin and Chris.
Whoever's bright idea, it was a bad idea. The Cleveland Browns, they wanted them to attack the one-on-one matchup, and Rodgers saw it, and he said, hey, Denzel Ward, I'm going to my guy, MVS, and we're going to keep going at you. It just didn't make sense. The guy he's a great corner.
One of the best corners in football. Marquez Valdez-Scantling has been on 3 different teams this year. And this might have been the only guy that was open on this whole 3-play process right here. But Rodgers has already thrown it up top once again in a bad matchup.
And now when a gotta have it, you come out. And yes, I didn't like Gainwell chipping the whole drive. He's your best matchup probably. And you go back to Denzel Ward.
Yeah, it's hard as a quarterback to throw the ball short of the end zone when you get in that type of situation. Bottom line is, and I know you agree, this was a game they needed DK Metcalf in those situations against a team that plays more man-to-man than just about anybody in the NFL.
Yeah, right now he's serving his suspension, and we're taking a look now at what the receivers did without DK Metcalf. And what is your takeaway, Jason?
These guys are complementary players.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, when you lose a guy like DK Metcalf, these guys all move up. Freiermuth becomes your number 1 guy. Miller becomes your number 2 guy. And these guys aren't able to handle that burden, particularly against a really good defense like Cleveland. We saw that they were anemic on offense today. And what a difference 24 hours makes. Baltimore kind of limps into Green Bay last night. They decided to give it to their guy 36 times. Derrick Henry rushes for 216 and 4 touchdowns. Pittsburgh's looking for one of those guys to take the burden off everybody. everybody else.
And by the way, Darnell Washington left this game, and Mike Tomlin said he has a broken forearm. But it's time now for our PFT update brought to you by Capital One. Mike, it's a winner-take-all meeting in Week 18. Lamar Jackson missed last night's win with a back injury. Will the Stars be out next week?
Yeah, he suffered that back contusion last Sunday night against the Patriots. I'm told right now it's a shade under 50-50 as to whether he'll be available for the showdown next weekend in Pittsburgh. And for the Steelers, the big question is the availability of linebacker T.J. Watt. He had surgery just 16 days ago to repair a partially collapsed lung. I'm told that as of right now, it's a long shot that he'll be able to play. Never say never, but it's not an ideal timeline to be fully cleared. The Steelers aren't treating this like a normal injury because it isn't. Mike Tomlin has said he wants to see T.J. Watt fully participate in practice all week before he plays.
All right, we got a couple of Week 18 showdowns set up because of the losses by the Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're going to talk all things NFC South when we come back, and also break down the game that came down to the final drive and tell you why Josh Allen's holding his head down, walking off in Orchard Park.
Welcome to the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff.
They win, and it only gets better from here.
We're gaining momentum.
The 49ers have the opportunity to have home cooking all the way to Super Bowl 60.
It's your time. We've got to come together. Guys are banged up. Guys are tired. We can't let this go. Super Bowl 60.
It all starts with belief.
Come like that. Yesterday, I was in it playing. 40 years ago.
Singles area at the bottom of the pile.
Wow.
The dream is reality.
Let's make up our minds. I got you. You got me.
High drama finishes.
All those great things that have happened.
Turn out the lanes.
All of those times when you're wondering,
Going deep.
do we really have what it takes?
The Iceman coming.
And the answer was yes.
Stone cold.
And so you're here.
Sunday Night Football.
Everybody is watching you.
Let's go.
Let's go.
What will it take to get Mike Singletary to be a part of every single show? It's absolutely incredible. Just like this beautiful day in the Bay, we are 6 weeks away from the biggest Sunday of them all. It'll be Super Bowl 60 taking place in Santa Clara. The 49ers getting set to take on the Bears. Remember, San Francisco needs a win to keep in the division title race, and they'll try to get that tonight against Chicago. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay taking on the Dolphins. They still had an opportunity to win the NFC South. They're looking for their 4th straight title, but it was a tough day for Baker Mayfield in Miami.
Maria, it's all about the ball, the ball, the ball. And this is Baker Mayfield down the field, giving his receiver a chance. Jason Marshall makes the big pick, going the other way for the Dolphins.
Okay, and then in the 4th quarter, looking very similar. Again, South Beach not being kind to Mayfield.
Yeah, down 10, trying to come back in this game. Baker Mayfield threw the ball 44 times today. No run game, forced a lot of passes.
8 interceptions for Mayfield in the last 7 games. All right, under 4 minutes left. Still an opportunity here.
Miami was more physical than Tampa the whole game. The pass rush showing up here, knocking the ball out. The 3rd turnover for Baker Mayfield, and the Dolphins steal one from the Bucs.
Yeah, Bradley Chubb still celebrating that one. And now Tampa Bay still win the division with a win versus Carolina next week and 1 Falcons loss. All right, let's get to the Seahawks taking on the Panthers. Panthers in control of their path to the NFC South, but they got to get past Mike McDonald and this Seahawks squad, and an early mistake.
Yeah, early mistake. Sam Darnold had just thrown an interception in the end zone. The Seattle defense helps him out, causes a fumble on Chuba Hubbard. The Panthers' run game never got going today, Maria. And the Seahawks, you see Zach Charbonnet right here, punch it in. They ran the ball really well.
Yeah, they did just fine. Seahawks taking the lead there 10-3. And then Bryce Young here looking to respond.
Yeah, they're trying to do a little wheel route up the sideline. But Julian Love's like, hey, I've been playing football for a while. style. I've seen this before. Makes a great play on the ball, gets the interception, sets up the short field right here for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, so an opportunity for Sam Darnold. You don't want to give that to him because he's going to give it to A.J. Barner.
No, and A.J. Barner, who has shown up a lot this year and helped this team out, was big in this game as well. Seattle dominates. Look at these redheads. Look at this. Jason Garrett, where are you at?
There you go. You like that.
Oh, he's right there. There we go. Get him a jersey, somebody.
I'll go bearded for you,
Here we go. All right, guys. So now the NFC South, it'll come down to the final weekend. The Panthers are at the Bucs in Week 18, and with the winner going to the playoffs, unless, well, just take a listen to Steve Kornacki.
Yeah, Tampa would have been eliminated if Carolina had found a way to win that game. Instead, Carolina at Tampa. Winner takes the NFC South. Loser is done. Probably, and I say probably because the Falcons, they're not back in the playoff mix. They've been eliminated, but look at this. The Falcons at 6-9, if they could beat the Rams, huge if, and if they could beat the Saints, they could get to 8-9. If the Bucs win next week, they'd be 8-9. Carolina would be 8-9. Three-way tie. It's the head-to-head record among all three that would decide it. Carolina and Tampa would have split. Tampa and Atlanta would have split. Carolina would have a sweep on Atlanta at 8-9. They would have the tiebreaker. They'd win the division. Meanwhile, Seattle, by beating Carolina, they retain that path to the top seed in the NFC. All they got to do is win next week against the Niners. Number 1 seed is Seattle. The stakes for tonight, they are enormous. This is an elimination game. The loser cannot get the 1 seed in the NFC. But if San Francisco wins tonight, they control a path to the top seed. All they'd have to do is beat Seattle Week 18. Then the NFC playoffs would go through Santa Clara. If they lose, they're a wild card team. They're going on the road. Chicago, meanwhile, they can get the 1 seed by winning tonight, beating the Lions, and then they would need San Fran to knock off Seattle next week. Rams, they're on the periphery, easy schedule. They need a ton of help. All these teams have to lose for the Rams to get the top seed.
Always appreciate the breakdown, Steve. Let's get a breakdown of this game. Eagles taking on the Bills. Heavy rain, cold weather. It's December in Buffalo, and it's causing some issues for the Bills.
Yeah, this fumble right here by Josh Allen is what got the Eagles' offense rolling in the first half. After this play, the Eagles will go on, make some plays, and they dominated early in this game.
Yeah, so that means the Eagles are going to try to find an opportunity to capitalize off this play. It was ruled a sack by Jalen Phillips and a fumble by Allen, not an incomplete pass. So here go the Eagles.
Yeah, they're so good down and close running the football. They go play action this time. Goddard wide open in the corner. Jalen hits him.
Yeah, 11 touchdown catches this season for Goddard, and Josh just has to look on. All right, to the second half we go with the Bills down 13.
Yeah, Josh Allen came into this game with a foot injury, gets rolled up a little here on the sack, but he said, hey, that foot didn't cause me any problems. I was still good.
Yeah, no problem. Just keep giving me the ball on 4th and goal here.
This is where he's so dangerous, down in the red zone. Pump, pump, pump one more time. He dives. Baldwin hits him back. Just a little bit short. Philly holds.
Huge play by Zach Vaughn there. Couldn't quite get into the end zone. Then under 2 minutes left on 4th and 10 here.
Allen hits Shavers for a quick pass. A lot of quick passes all game, but this time he laterals it, and it's the first really big play in the second half for this offense to really get going.
Come on, get in the trick bag then, and then Brandon Cooks had a day.
Yeah, how about this one? Josh climbing the pocket, throwing down the field to Cooks. He's a small guy. He climbs the ladder, a hands catch in the rain, concentration, hangs on to it. Huge for the Bills.
140 yards for Cooks. He says keep it coming. Then 4th and goal for Allen here.
Poetic. Against the Eagles, a bigger tush push right there. Josh Allen gets into the end zone, and you're telling me there's a chance.
I'm telling you there's a chance, but the 2-point conversion,
oh, they got exactly what they wanted. They go play action. He has Shakir in the corner. This is arguably the best player in ball. He just simply missed the throw. He's going to see that one in his nightmares forever. He'll never forget that miss.
Yeah, and I like going for it right there. Your offense struggled a little bit. You finally got rolling. You say, you know what? Let's ride this momentum. Our best player is going to have a chance to win the game. Let's go do it.
And remember, the Bills did not score until the 4th quarter, so to even be in that one and have a chance was big for the Bills and also big for the Eagles. Jalen Carter in his return. Time for the All-State good hands moment. And let's follow with Philly's late stand in Buffalo, Chris.
Yeah, well, he's missed the last 3 games, Jalen Carter, with double shoulder surgery, right, on both shoulders. But he comes back today. And when he's playing, right, this is one of the best defensive tackles in football. He can beat you any way he wants. right? Beats the right guard with speed, gets a sack on Josh Allen. Now it's a double team, no problem. I'll move everybody and push him back into Josh Allen's face. Then, this is a guy that's 315 pounds. Josh Allen thinks he's going to outrun him to the corner. No, sir, not going to have to cut it back. And we've seen Jalen Carter do this a number of times in his young career. When he's healthy, this Eagles defense is a Super Bowl defense. And they reminded us today, with him out there, and they don't turn the ball over, the Eagles are going to be a tough out in the NFC playoffs.
You know, Simsy, Philly had that rough spell in the middle of the year. But when you pull back and look at their roster, if they can get their act together, their mentality together, their guys back, they are really good on offense and they're really good on defense. To go up to Buffalo to beat that team in those conditions the way they did, pretty impressive.
And I think what they turned in today was a defensive football team. They played to the defense. They got the turnovers. Offensively, you're going to look here and say, all right, how can we be more productive in the second half? But if not, how can we just capitalize when our defense gives us good opportunities?
And players matter. Simsy talked about it. Jalen Carter being back in that lineup makes everybody else better.
Yeah, and also, by the way, with the Bills falling, that means the Pats, they win the AFC East for the first time since 2019. And that means the Bills, they're a wild card. Let's bring in Mike Florio. Let's get an injury update from Josh Allen. We saw him getting hit a little bit earlier.
He had the foot injury coming into the game. We saw him get banged up. After the game, he insisted to reporters that the foot did not bother him at all. But then he was spotted entering the x-ray room, so obviously it's something to be monitored as the week unfolds.
All right, we will make sure we get updates from you too, Florio. All right, back to tonight's game. It's time for Barry's Bet, brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Matthew, what do you got?
Maria, for my Barry's Bet, I'm taking Caleb Williams over 16.5 rushing yards. You know, very quietly, he's averaging over 24 rushing yards a game. And with his wide receivers banged up and so much on the line tonight, I expect Caleb to use his legs to do everything he can to help the Bears offense keep pace with San Fran. And that's my Barry's Bet for tonight.
DraftKings Sportsbook is the place to bet touchdowns, and new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the app and use promo code SNF when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
All right, it's the penultimate Sunday of the football regular season. We're getting you set for the 49ers and the Bears. They're both still in the race for the 1 seed, and the loser will be out of it. All right, it is time now for Sunday Fun Day presented by Taco Bell, and I wanted to start this one with a little love for the big man and what they were able to do today. Okay, Jason?
Maria, this is my favorite play of the entire weekend right here. 61 down here is Cody Ford. 6'4", 345 pounds, a hands catch. He breaks 1, 2, 3 tackles. Are you kidding me? The guy's an offensive tackle.
He took it 21 yards, too, Jason.
So
I still can't believe it. And shout out to Trey McBride, right?
Yeah, I had a chance to coach Jason Witten for a lot of years. This guy reminds me of him. 10 catches today, 119 for the year. He broke the record for tight end.
And there's no shame in you talking about a DB for your Sunday Fun Day, Devin.
Yeah, come on. Ward already told you, whose bright idea was it for you to throw at me? He said, don't ever throw at me. Lined up right here. I'm going to win this battle every single day. And look at that, Ward. Whenever you see great defensive back play, you got to get excited. I got so excited. They said not 1, not 2, but 3 times we're going to go at you. And then over in Baltimore, my good friend Kyle Illinois said, uh-oh, we're alive. Chris Sims, I heard you got some fashion tips today, man.
I do. It's not me, that's for sure. But when this guy right here, Stephon Diggs, comes to New York City, ooh! He's the best dressed guy in all of football.
You can wear that, Sim.
Show. No, I cannot. Mr. Cardi B, though, he can do it for sure. All right, look at that catch. Bosses the Jets over the top there, 2 hands, gets the touchdown, 6 receptions, 101 yards, and I think he's the best dressed guy in all of football.
Absolutely. Got to keep those hands warm if you want to make the catch. All right, Caleb Williams, he's all warmed up, former #1 overall pick, leading the Bears right now against the 49ers, and Brock Purdy looking more than cool and calm. All right, let's go on the field, presented by Hyundai, where Rodney is with Fred Warner at Levi Stadium.
You guys have an opportunity for the #1 seed. What's been the message in that locker room about tonight's game?
Yeah, I think the time for talking is over, man. It's time to buckle that chin strap, buckle up them shoulder pads, and let the pads talk. I think the team that protects the ball and takes it away will win this game, of course, 49ers.
Back to you, Maria.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang, just like that, right like that. All right, Fred, thank you so much for joining us on today's show. It is time for tonight's picks, brought to you by Google Pixel. America's pick, 52% of you are going with the 49ers. All right, Devin, you're going with the Bears. Tell me why on the road.
I think this Bears defense can find a way to get 1 or 2 turnovers that will make a difference in this game. I'm expecting a high-scoring game, but those turnovers could be big.
Hey, I got 3 words for you. CMC. Ooh. They're going to hand it to him. They're going to throw it to him. And San Francisco is going to protect the ball tonight. Go up and down the field. I like the Niners.
Offensive coaches.
Offensive coaches always going to say that. And you're going to roll with Ben Johnson. We already know. We got 2 elite play callers. We got a 1 seed on the line. You got the Bears and the 49ers. Mike, Chris, and Melissa on the other side of the break.
This has been the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff. Spanish language audio provided by Telemundo Deportes. Or watch tonight's game in Spanish on Universo.